Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode. I think we're on episode 21 now of the 89 Classic Mini Restoration. Right, I left you in the last episode where I'd got the top of this wing off. Well, basically remains of the old wing. We've got this repair to do, and I want to see what's behind all this. If that's all good, then I've literally just got that repair to do. So I'll be really chuffed at that. It's going to be quite a short video, I think, today. I just want to try and get as far as I can with this. So yeah, there's not going to be much talking, there's going to be quite a bit of just working. So this is me after work, and you've just got to try and get done what you can do, really, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm going to I think I'm going to start with this. We're going to clean all this off, see what's behind. Once I know that's good to go, I'll cut all this out and get this prepped. Once I've welded that, I'm going to clean back the whole wing, get rid of all this old scummy paint. You can obviously see the original flame red paint there. I'll probably do all that on a wire wheel. So yeah, I'll get you back in now just before I start, and I'll just show you, basically recap where we were, if you haven't seen the previous episode. Yeah, unfortunately the 89 build's going to be a bit like this for a little while. Well, both minis will be, because it's just a case of getting time. But this one is the luxury of actually being in a garage with some light. So I want to box off all these small jobs, and hopefully we can get some big panels back into this car, because I really want to see this. I really want to see the underside of this painted, back on its subframes. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see that point of it, really, and we know we're getting somewhere with it. So, well, one thing I'd love to see is it look like a Mini again. So it's been about 8 months now where it's not looked anything like a Mini. No front end on it or anything like that, back end all chopped up. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling, like I've said. I'll quickly recap you of what I've got to do, and then I'll set you back up and we will get cracking. Right, so this is basically the tab that goes around the wing. Oh, sorry, around the front panel that welds to the inner wing. Likewise with that. So I'm going to get both of those off. Hopefully they're all good underneath. If they're not, I'm going to cut it out and put new metal in. And then we have this horrible repair to do here, which I did pop into the last episode and show you what I did with the other side. So yeah, without further ado, let's just crack on with it. Safety first. Right, so I see that as a bit of a success. I've obviously still got to grind back these welds, but I thought I'd bring you in as it's raw. This is really good and solid. Doesn't look like it right now, but let me clean it up. I'm going to grind, that's just the weld that this plate was on. But look at that plate there. It's not even painted. Likewise with that. So yeah, I'm going to clean all this back. If you just saw me there's the original flame red all along there. There's a little rubber bung in there, I've just taken that out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to clean back these welds and those welds there as well, and then I'm going to get all this to bare metal, and then what I'll do is I'll hammer and dolly it all nice and straight, because obviously I've been a bit, obviously it's loose because there's nothing attached to it now, but yeah, that's really made me quite happy with that. So yeah, I'll set you guys back up again. We will grind all this back, and what I'll do is I'll get this front half sort of all the way down there. I'll get that bare metal, and then we'll see how we are. If I've got to replace it, if it gets a bit too thin, I will replace it, but right now I'm really chuffed with that. Right, so you saw me sort of finish it off here with a hammer and dolly. I'm really chuffed at all that. It's really strong. You know, it's the same as this slot here. You can see obviously where that one that was. You know, I said the car had accident damage on this side, and I showed you the front end in the last video. We can actually see the crease. So underneath that panel, that's where the crease was. So I'm going to use the hammer and dolly a little bit more just to get that out. You can just about see it when the light hits it there. See the crease? So it's very, very minor damage, but it's worth hammering it out and getting it straight, ready for the new front end. So not too worried about that. That's just where the remainder of the weld. So I'll get this bit off, I'll hammer and dolly that out, and then we're on to that. Right, so for a quick half hour, I'm absolutely covered in crap from the car. I've basically cleaned off some of the paint from around here, which you probably saw in that last slide. Yeah, it's all pretty solid. I'm quite chuffed with it. You can see the original flame red. I've literally just done this off camera, which this is the bit that we're replacing, where the shock sort of tower bolts into. So I was not too sure how they were held to the car, but it seems like I've got like a factory 2 tacks, which you can see there and there. So all I've literally done is just got a chisel underneath it and just rocked it, and it's come off. So you saw in the last episode that Jimmy got us a new set. So what I'll do is I'll put new top and bottom, and if it's that easy, I might even replace the second side, the side, sorry, I've already done, because yeah, for the cost of it, you might as well just put new ones. I've tried so hard to get that out of there, and I've welded nuts onto the back of it, and it's just not coming out. So there's no point. It holds your shock tower on, it's got to be good and solid. So yes, I worked that one out. Right, I think that's about it for this episode. Again, a little bit of a boring run, but we learned how the that block comes off. We've also found out that the rest of the wing is really solid. With minor hammer and dollying, I've managed to get the wing straight again at the front. Basically, when I come to put the front end on, it might need a little fettling. I'm doing it off eye at the moment, but once the front panel goes back in and we've got those 2 flanges on the new panel, we'll be able to pull the inner wings as and where they need to be. But following it down, they completely still line up with the bonnet there and stuff like that. So obviously it's complete trial and error at the moment. It's not a biggie. So the next job will be cutting that lot out. A few people have asked, they're quite interested to see me do that. So yeah, there's a few videos already out there on that, but I will do it. I mean, I wanted to document the other side before I had my channel, so yeah, I dropped in the slide at the end of it with the photographs of the driver's side done. So you'll see the sort of finish I want. I paint all the cavities. There's two pieces of steel that would have been against each other, sort of rusting out. So I'll put that piece of steel in, then zinc prime it, then put the next piece of steel in. So, but the aim of the game is really you can drill these holes and you can use the actual shock tower to hold it in. So there's no clamps involved. It's actually quite a good repair. It's quite a fulfilling repair to do because you have saved it at the end of the day, and it gives you a chance to get right inside this box section here and paint it all, wax it all, do whatever you like to do with it. What I did is I basically cleaned it all out best I could. I cure rusted anything that was in there, but once you get in there, there's nothing of any sort of untoward in there. But it isn't painted from factory, so it is sort of bare in there. So you just spray as far as you can down there with your zinc primer, and then what I did is I actually got a wax with a long nozzle on, and I waxed all inside that cavity. So again, this is stuff that wasn't done from factory, and it's stuff that I want to try and bring into it. So yeah, you'll see that in the next slide, hopefully. No, sorry, next video. Keep saying slide. Stop saying slide. The next video, I will do this repair finally, and we'll get on with it. Like I mentioned, I am replacing the actual towers. I showed you in the last episode. I think it's still behind me. This one is completely gone. I think the driver's side one's just as bad, but for £30 you can buy this with all new bushings and gubbings and everything like that for your shocks. Obviously this whole thing is going in a bin. We're not even putting that shock back on the car. So, right, that's it for this episode, unfortunately. Loads of grinding and a bit boring really for some people, but it's jobs I want to document. It's showing that if you just take your time and you can cut off your bits and pieces off the front of the panel, you can save it. I was fully up for repairing and putting a whole piece of new metal in here, but I'm not going to have to do that. The metal's good and solid. Yeah, I'm really chuffed at that. This is quite a rare thing for this car, for it to actually had a good repair in its life. So yeah, I'm really quite happy with that. Right, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more obviously in this car coming. We'll get this repair done in the next episode. Yeah, thanks again for everyone that took part in my giveaway a few videos back. That was really successful and I took a lot away from it, so thank you very much for that. Right, catch you next one guys, stay safe.